Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is a historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being, and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed, but by covenant. And we are called to answer the call of love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all kinds of love, you are welcome here.
Hi everyone, our opening hymn is hymn 389, Call to Worship Gathered Here. It's a round. I'm going to teach it to you first, and then we're going to sing it together once, and after that, the house right will sing with me the first part, and the house left will sing with Andrew the second part. And if you're at home, you can sing whichever part you prefer. You can add a third or fourth, or wherever you are comfortable. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Repeat. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Spirit, draw near. Good. Now we're going to do the whole thing once through, and then we're going to split into the two parts. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. House right. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Again. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Once more. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Spirit, draw near.
As we gather, we acknowledge that Arlington Street Church occupies the ancestral homeland of the Massachusetts. By making this land acknowledgement, we recognize, honor, and affirm the sovereignty of all First Nations peoples. Dear ones, it is a joy to see you in your Hollywood squares and to welcome you to the incarnate congregation in the pews this morning. I want to say a very special thanks to our volunteers here in the sanctuary today. Today's tech team is Chala Hazar on sound, Jen Eno on camera, Kevin Terrell on the Zoom deck, and Kem Moorhead in the Zoom room. The tech team's all right here, and thank you, sweethearts. We are so grateful. I want to say thank you to the Great Doors team, ensuring that we gather safely in person. Queen Cheryl, Barbara Gindhart, and Rachel Corey are our greeters. Jeffrey Hale is our lead usher. Thank you to our musicians. While the rest of the team takes a post-Easter break, Daniel Rosenzweig and Andrew Stack just keep on making gorgeous music. Not just singing, but playing piano and guitar for us today. Thank you, gentlemen. I also want to say Andrew is currently in the production of 3 different operas. So let's wish you some really good luck, Andrew. That's awesome, fantastic, really great. How amazing that we have like opera singers for musicians, right? We're so proud of you. That's fantastic. Where is Beth? Our beloved executive minister, Beth Robbins, is here somewhere. She's not at her usual post. Is she all the way up? There you are, honey. You were hiding behind a pillar. There she is, in both the sanctuary and the Zoom room, holding the space for us as one beloved spiritual community. So Andrew and Daniel rapid tested this morning so they can sing unmasked. We've closed the first 4 pews up front to keep everyone safe. A reminder that those in the sanctuary should be physically distancing from those who are not in your family or pod. And when your pew is full, please close your pew door so people who arrive after you know that it's full, even if you're the only one sitting there. Thank you. And finally, for those of you who are new to Arlington Street, I want to say a very special welcome to you. For those of you in the sanctuary, there are welcome cards in the pew racks. Please hand yours to an usher or Queen Cheryl, or drop it in the basket at the Great Doors as you leave. For those of you in the Zoom room, please fill out a connection card. The link is in the chat. It includes the option to request a link to a recording of today's sermon. Since I can't greet all of you in person after the service, I would love to follow up with a virtual hello. Whether you've been coming here for years or today is your first time at Arlington Street, welcome home.
Good morning, everyone. If you haven't already downloaded today's order of service, it's available in the chat and on the homepage at ascboston.org. For our device-free guests here in the sanctuary, there are also printed copies of the order of service at the Great Doors. Also, on the homepage, you'll find a link to Sermon Bingo. Feel free to play along while Reverend Kim preaches. It's time for our greetings. Zoomers, and those of you here in the sanctuary with a device handy, please say hello in the chat and tell us where you're zooming in from. And now, Jen is going to turn the camera on the incarnate congregation as we wave and smize at each other, as well as at our friends in the Zoom room, and all of you in the Zoom room can wave and smile back. Hello, friends. Let's all engage that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart.
Please stand as you're willing and able and join us in hymn 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
From our birth over
sight. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sibling, kindred, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Friday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please wait until the third candle is lit, the silent candle, and then type your joy or sorrow into the chat. Those in the sanctuary are invited to light a silent candle at the table up at the front to the right of the Gleason podium. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious this beloved community is. We need one another. Whether together or apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
A candle of sorrow from the Arlington Street Church congregation for peoples fleeing war, violence, and climate disaster all over the world. Our hearts go out to the families facing loss and tragedy as they seek refuge. And a final candle of sorrow from Dan Ivy. I light a candle today for my dear friend Michel Crump, who recently lost his battle with cancer, but won his rightful place in heaven. Michel was a creative and verbose character who loomed large in my life. He will be dearly, dearly missed.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary.
Some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
A candle of joy from Keith Perron. Happy Easter to our Orthodox friends. A candle of joy from Jen Eno. Happy Orthodox Easter to my wife Hala and her family. We attended service last night at St. George's in West Roxbury, which was beautiful and reverent. Happy Easter to all who celebrate. Almaseh Kalm. And a final candle of joy from the Arlington Street Church congregation. Deb and Peter Colbert welcomed Rhea Grace on April 9th, a healthy, beautiful baby girl. Deb reports that Grace looks like her daddy, but has a strong personality like her mommy. Welcome, baby Grace.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, for our country, and for the world. Amen.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of this beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another.
El amor es el espíritu de nuestra congregación y el servicio es nuestro regalo. Esto es a lo que nos comprometemos, convivir en paz, hablar nuestras verdades con amor y ayudarnos los unos a los otros.
Our next hymn is Let the Mystery Be by Iris DeMont. We have a slight change from our program. Andrew Stack is playing for us on guitar instead of piano today. You're welcome to join for chorus or verse as much as you know or want to join on. If you're looking ahead in the, if you're looking along in the program, that what looks like the first verse is actually the chorus, and that will get repeated several times. Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worrying about what they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say once you're gone forever, and some say you're gonna come back. Some say you rest in the arms of the Savior, and if in so the ways you lack. Some say you're coming back in the garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying it ain't a fact. But I've heard that I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. Well, I believe in love, and I live my life accordingly. But I choose to let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. I think I'll just let the mystery be.
Quick history lesson. Unitarianism began in the 1560s in Transylvania, now northwestern Romania. Growing out of the Protestant Reformation, it was founded with an emphasis on free conscience and the value of intellectual reason. 2 centuries later, in the late 1820s, in Concord and throughout New England, a movement grew out of Unitarianism called Transcendentalism. It was really our flowering as a spiritual movement. Writers and philosophers Henry David Thoreau, Margaret Fuller, and Ralph Waldo Emerson, among many others, felt that the calm rationalism of the Unitarianism of the time didn't fully speak to the mystical heart of life. There was something more, they said, the essential unity of every living thing and what they called the divine experience inherent in the everyday. Heaven, they said, is not distant, but here. Living out at Walden Pond between 1845 and 1847, Thoreau read the Bhagavad Gita, the great text of Hinduism. He wrote, "In the morning, I bathe my intellect in the stupendous and cosmogonal philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, so remote in its sublimity from our conceptions. I lay down the book and go to my well for water, and lo, there I meet the servant of the Brahman, the creator of the world. Our buckets, as it were, grate together in the same well. The pure Walden water is mingled with the sacred water of the Ganges." In Emerson's 1836 essay, Nature, Thoreau's wonderful companion wrote of his own ecstatic union with the divine. "Standing on the bare ground, my head bathed by the blithe spirit and uplifted into infinite space, all mean egotism vanishes. I become," get ready for it, "I become a transparent eyeball. I am nothing, I see all. The currents of the universal being circulate through me. I am part or particle of God." The Transcendentalists were ridiculed. In 1841, American author Edgar Allan Poe wrote a story called "Never Bet the Devil Your Head," in which he expressed a deep dislike for Transcendentalism, calling its adherents frog pondians, after the pond on the Boston Common. For the record, I am a frog pondian, and I know a lot of you are too. I remember the crazy juxtaposition of riding the subway far beneath the teeming city of Tokyo, reading American author Annie Dillard's deep dive into nature, Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. I went from bemused to transfixed when I came to the passage in which she describes a girl whose vision has been restored, whose doctor leads her into a garden to feast her new eyesight, and who experiences what the girl calls the tree with the lights in it. Annie Dillard writes, "It was for this tree I searched through the peach orchards of summer, in the forests of fall and down winter and spring for years. Then one day, I was walking along Tinker Creek and thinking of nothing at all, and I saw the tree with the lights in it. I saw the backyard cedar where the mourning doves roost, charged and transfigured, each cell buzzing with flame. I stood on the grass with the lights in it, grass that was holy fire, utterly focused and utterly dreamed. It was less like seeing than like being for the first time seen, knocked breathless by a powerful glance. The flood of fire abated," she continues, "but I'm still spending the power. Gradually, the lights went out in the cedar, the colors died, the cells unflamed and disappeared. I was still ringing. I had been my whole life a bell and never knew it, until at that moment I was lifted and struck. I have since only very rarely seen the tree with the lights in it. The vision comes and goes, mostly goes, but I live for it. For the moment the mountains open and a new light roars in spate through the crack, and the mountains slam." There's a powerful mystical arc between Annie Dillard's tree with the lights in it and the tree in Alice Walker's Anointed, the the color purple. Shug says to Seeley, I believe God is everything. Everything that is or ever was or ever will be. And when you can feel that and be happy to feel that, you found it. My first step from the old white man in the sky, she says, was trees. Then air, then birds, then other people. But one day when I was sitting quiet and feeling like a motherless child, which I was, it came to me. That feeling of being part of everything, not separate at all. I knew that if I cut a tree, my arm would bleed. This is the transcendental perspective. Everything is deeply interconnected, and there is magic and mystery just at the edge of every moment, perhaps infusing every moment. Lebanese-American author Khalil Gibran wrote, when you love, you should not say, God is in my heart, but rather, I am in the heart of God. But life in a body means that magic and mystery are more often than not side by side with desperation and worse. That there are more places than not in the so-called civilized world where it is literally impossible to imagine an experience of transcendence. The spiritual practice is to keep our minds and hearts and hands open and to stay curious, to make of curiosity a spiritual practice. Curiosity is from the Latin word meaning to care. To me, curiosity is absolutely correlated with paying attention and with intelligence. It is a necessary precursor to wonder. But now I want to pivot just a bit to say that there are some mysteries that are best left unharassed. By this I mean that it can be lovely just to rest in it all, or perhaps to grow into it. American author Nikki Rowe writes, when I look through the eyes of a child, everything seems possible. And every once in a while, I remember I still have the chance to be that wild. I'm thinking of Sumong Kid's The Secret Life of Bees, which is set in the 1960s, perhaps just before July of '69, when a man first stepped on the moon. On encountering a life-changing coincidence, Kid's narrator, a young teenager named Lily, says, I realized it for the first time in my life. There is nothing but mystery in the world. How it hides behind the fabric of our poor, browbeat days, shining brightly. And we don't even know it. Echoing this passage, Lily and her older friend August are watching the moon rise over the backyard, large and ghostly silver. Look at her good, Lily, August says, 'cause you're seeing the end of something. I am? Yes, you are. Because as long as people have been on this earth, the moon has been a mystery to us. Think about it. She is strong enough to pull the oceans, and when she dies away, she always comes back again. August stared at the sky a long moment. Now it won't ever be the same, not after they've landed up there and walked around on her. She'll be just one more big science project. August is not disparaging science. Every curious person appreciates that scientists are among those with the healthiest appreciation for mystery. Having seen the edges of the known universe, scientists know what they don't know, and at best revere it with the phrase made immortal by my friend Mike's devoutly Catholic mother of blessed memory, who answered his most challenging childhood questions with 3 simple words: it's a mystery. August is simply longing for us to love it and to let it be. Let's hear these words again from American folk and country singer and songwriter Iris DeMent. Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worrying about where they're going to go when the whole thing's done, but no one knows for certain. And so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say once you're gone forever, and some say you're going to come back. Some say you rest in the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say that they're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying it ain't a fact, but I'm heard I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. I believe in love, and I live my life accordingly. I choose to let the mystery be. I think I'll just let the mystery be. We are surrounded by mystery, swimming in mystery, living and breathing mystery every moment of every day of our lives. And we have a choice. Either it can terrify us, freeze us in our tracks like deer in the cosmic headlights, compel us to try to get a hold of it and take it apart and control it, or it can inspire us and comfort us in its constancy with all its quirkiness and unpredictability. In 1903, the great Austrian poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote to a 19-year-old friend, "I want to beg you as much as I can to be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything, live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. Live the questions now." At best, we are all living into that distant day. Last Sunday morning, I quoted physicist Albert Einstein, "There are only 2 ways to live your life. One is though nothing is a miracle. The other is as if everything is a miracle." To each of us falls the challenge of the most graceful ways to do that. Beloved spiritual companions, my dear Frog Pondians, I invite you to join me in celebrating the fullness of our faith tradition, including transcendentalism, celebrating the unity of all life, embracing both the intellect and ecstasy, scholarship and mysticism, curious about what we can know and what is not ours to know, at least not yet. And letting the mystery be. Across the century, here are our marching orders from the great Persian poet Hafiz, invoking the divine as the friend. Go running through the streets, creating divine chaos. Make everyone and yourself ecstatically mad for the friend's beautiful open arms. Go running through this world, giving love, giving love, giving love. Amen.
Many nights we prayed with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts a hopeful song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. You will when you believe.
In this time of fear, when prayer so often proved in vain, hope seemed like the summer birds too swiftly thrown away. Now I'm standing here with heart so full I can't explain, seeking faith and speaking words I never thought I'd say. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. You will when you believe. They don't always happen when you ask, and it's easy to give in to your fear. But when you're blinded by your pain, can't see your way safe through the rain, thoughts with still resilient voice say love is very near. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail,
what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. Now you will. You will when you believe. You will when you
Friends, our generosity continues to be astounding. Thank you for your commitment to our staff, our building, and to our beloved spiritual community. Throughout the pandemic, as we transitioned first to Zoom and now to hybrid services, our commitment to Arlington Street Church and its community has been on full display for all to see and for all to participate to the extent that they feel comfortable. One of the final paper topics for me in my last weeks at Divinity School is to reflect upon the future of Unitarian Universalist congregations and what a model of success we have here at Arlington Street Church to share with our fellow UUs. I have interviewed Reverend Kim and Art Nava for their thoughts and will incorporate their wisdom into the paper. And in speaking with Kim, I was reminded of the team effort and of the many contributions of time and talent that it has taken for us to so successfully pivot to hybrid services and, moreover, to hybrid congregational life. In fact, this theme just might preach. So don't be surprised if I reach out to some of you in the coming weeks and ask you for your thoughts and reminiscences on our transformational experience here at Arlington Street Church. And speaking of asks, Arlington Street is entirely self-sustaining. Please take a moment now to join me in giving to our beloved spiritual community and to filling our virtual collection plate. You can text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 617-300-0509. You can scan the QR code in the order of service. You can also visit our homepage at ascboston.org and click on the yellow Donate Now button, or you can still write a check and send it in to Arlington Street Church or give it to Reverend Kim. Thank you for your generosity.
The Boy in the Bubble was the opening track on Paul Simon's landmark Graceland album, and the first song he worked on when he went to South Africa in 1985 to record with musicians from the townships. There have been years of speculation that the lyrics were Simon's reflections on the political violence of apartheid, just juxtaposed with the advances made in technology during that time, including protecting an immune-compromised child by putting him into a bubble and transplanting a baboon heart to try to save the life of a baby boy. But speaking with Rolling Stone, he would only say, "The boy in the bubble devolved down to hope and dread. That's the way I see the world, a balance between the two, but coming down on the side of hope." It was a slow day, and the sun was beating on the soldiers by the side of the road. There was a bright light, a shattering of shop windows. The bomb in the baby carriage was wired to the radio. These are the days of miracle and wonder. This is the long-distance call. The way the camera follows us in slow-mo, the way we look to us all. The way we look to a distant constellation that's dying in a corner of the sky. These are the days of miracle and wonder, and don't cry, baby, don't cry, don't cry. It was a dry wind, and it swept across the desert, and it curled into the circle of birth. And the dead sand falling on the children, the mothers and the fathers and the automatic earth. These are the days of miracle and wonder. This is the long distance call. The way the camera follows us in slow-mo, the way we look to us all. The way we look to a distant constellation that's dying in a corner of the sky. These are the days of miracle and wonder, and don't cry, baby, don't cry, don't cry. It's a turnaround jump shot, it's everybody jump start. It's every generation throws a hero up the pop charts. Medicine is magical and magical is art. Think of the boy in the bubble and the baby with the baboon heart. And I believe these are the days of lasers in the jungle. Lasers in the jungle somewhere. Staccato signals of constant information, a loose affiliation of millionaires and billionaires, and baby, these are the days of miracle and wonder. This is the long distance call. The way the camera follows us in slow-mo, the way we look to us all, oh yeah. The way we look to a distant constellation that's dying in a corner of the sky. These are the days of miracle and wonder, and don't cry, baby, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Ooh, 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 ooh.
There are weekly gatherings in the Zoom room for loving kindness meditation, poetry, yoga, and writing. Every Wednesday, Reverend Kim and Reverend Beth host a live tea party with a conversation prompt. This week's prompt is, what's something you learned in school that you've actually used in the real world? All are welcome. In addition, after today's service, the Transformation Team for Racial Justice will be hosting a discussion of Layla Saad's Me and White Supremacy. All are welcome. On Tuesday evening, Reverend Kim hosts Buddha's Belly Book Group in the Arlington Street Meditation Center. On Wednesday afternoon, Professor Allen and Reverend Kim host the Wednesday's Literary Salon. We'll be reading the poetry of Poland's Zimborska. All are welcome. Then on Thursday evening, there's a rally in front of the Moderna headquarters in Cambridge, demanding access to vaccines for the whole world. Also, on Thursday evening, Gay Men's Coffee Connections will be hosted by Al, Anthony, and Daryl. The topic is, if you could be anyone in the world other than yourself for 1 week, who would you be? Except for the rally, all of these gatherings are on Zoom. Information is at ascboston.org. To attend any of them, you don't have to be a member, you don't have to turn on your video, you don't even have to talk if you don't want to. And best of all, they're all free, and all are always welcome. Each Sunday, we share our collection plate with a partner in our mission of love, service, justice, and peace. This month, in order of tech team lead Art Nava and his husband, videographer Rich Abreu, we're supporting Gay for Good, which mobilizes LGBTQ+ volunteers to support goodwill and understanding of the greater communities through collaborative service project. Art serves on the National Board of Gay for Good, yet more good he's doing in the world. Please text the amount you want to give and the word share, S-H-A-R-E, to 617-300-0509. Detailed instructions are in the chat. Thank you for your generous support. Following the service, everyone is welcome to join in virtual coffee hour. If you'd like to participate, please answer yes to the breakout invitation that will appear on your screen. Reverend Kim and Reverend Beth will be out front. They invite those in the sanctuary to please come say hello after the virtual coffee hour. Thanks to all of you who joined in today's service and to all those who made it possible. Remember, we're all in this together.
Andrew and I get to switch places for the remainder of the service. Andrew will be leading us in hymn 1064, Blue Boat Home. Please stand as you're willing and able.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing so all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Before our benediction, I invite those of you in the Zoom room to please reach out your hands and touch the sides of your square. And those of you in the sanctuary to please raise your hands, palms out. Let's send loving kindness to the people to your left and to your right. Send loving kindness to the person on either side of you and to the people on either side of them. Send out love into this beloved spiritual community and feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart in namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Again, from the great Persian poet Hafiz, invoking the divine as the friend go running through the streets, creating divine chaos. Make everyone and yourself ecstatically mad for the friend's beautiful open arms. Go running through this world, giving love, giving love, giving love. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. I love you. Amen.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine.
please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.